You like to imagine that your success will be decided in some grand moment under bright lights with applause waiting on the other side of your decision. That is a lie. Your life is not being shaped when you feel strong and inspired. It is being shaped when you are tired, discouraged, humiliated, and tempted to quit. The hard moments, the private moments where no one is watching, are the ink in which your success story is written. The question is not what do you want. Any man can recite a list of desires. The question is, what do you do when everything in you wants to stop? Your answer to that question is your destiny. Not your dreams, not your talent, not your luck. Your discipline in hard moments. You have learned to say, I will work when I feel like it. That is not discipline, that is convenience dressed in noble language. Discipline means I will work especially when I do not feel like it. I will hold my post when comfort calls me away. I will keep my word to myself when it would be easier to break it. Until you reach that point, you are not yet a builder of your future. You are only a visitor in it, wandering in and out according to your mood. The world does not reward moods. It rewards men who can act with consistency when every feeling argues against them. Think back over your past. The greatest damage to your progress did not come from the days when everything went wrong outside you. It came from the days when you surrendered inside. You had plans. You knew exactly what needed to be done. But a difficulty appeared, a criticism, an unexpected obstacle, a wave of fatigue, and you conceded. You told yourself, just this once I will let it slide. You did not realize that just this once is how character is rewritten. Every time you abandon your duty in a hard moment, you teach your mind that you cannot be trusted under pressure. You become a man who starts with fire and ends in ashes. Then you stand in the ruins of your intentions and sigh, I have bad luck. No, you have weak discipline where it matters most. Hard moments are not accidents, they are examinations. Life is asking you, are you serious or are you merely excited? Excitement is cheap. It rises quickly, splashes around loudly, and disappears at the first sign of resistance. Discipline is quiet. It arrives without fanfare and stays when enthusiasm runs away. When conditions are pleasant, both men look similar. They work, they speak boldly, they make plans. When conditions become hard, one disappears and the other continues. That is when destinies separate. Most men waste the hard season by asking, why is this happening to me? That question has no value. Pain does not leave because you protest its presence. Ask instead, what is this moment asking me to become? When you are exhausted, it asks you to become a man who can act without the crutch of comfort. When you are misunderstood, it asks you to become a man who can move without constant approval. When you are delayed, it asks you to become a man who can work without immediate reward. Each answer to those demands is written in your behavior, not your theories. You do not become disciplined by reading about discipline. You become disciplined by doing what you said you would do when the feeling that made the promise has left your body. Your most important promises are the ones you make to yourself, and your most dangerous habit is breaking them. If you allow yourself to say tomorrow every time the path becomes steep, you are training your very soul to postpone greatness. Tomorrow is the shield behind which cowards hide from action. The disciplined man speaks differently. When he is tempted to delay, he says, today is the only day I can touch. Today is where I win or lose. I will not throw it away because my heart is uncomfortable. You must understand that hard moments are not interruptions in your story. They are the story. There is no such thing as a life that matters without seasons of strain. The difference between those who rise and those who remain is not that one was spared difficulty. It is that one decided to treat difficulty as proof of assignment rather than as proof of rejection. When life presses you, the easy conclusion is, I am not meant for this. The accurate conclusion is, this is the price of becoming what I claimed I wanted to be. You say you want strength but shy away from resistance. You say you want endurance but resent the long road. You say you want faith but coup. RSE every test. That contradiction is why your progress is slow. You must align your expectation with reality. Every higher level of life requires a higher level of discipline in hardship. There is no shortcut. Look at the hardest moments you have ever faced. Some broke you, some refined you. What was the difference? In the moments that broke you, you surrendered your standards. You ate what you swore you would not, said what you swore you would not, avoided the work you swore you would do. In the moments that refined you, you did the opposite. You felt the same pain, the same weariness, the same frustration, but you stood longer than you thought possible. You finished the task. You controlled your tongue. You held your temper. You showed up again the next day. Those moments, though bitter, are the ones you remember with a certain pride. They are the paragraphs in your story where the reader leans forward. Why? Because something was proven there. The same is true now. You imagine that one day you will have a dramatic turning point where everything changes at once. Do not wait for a theatrical scene. Your turning point can be quieter. It can be the night you're tired, angry, and full of excuses, and you obey your commitment instead of your mood. It can be the morning when fear presses on your chest like a weight, and you move toward the difficult conversation instead of away from it. It can be the day when discouragement wraps itself around you like fog, and you still do the next piece of work with the same care you would give if everything were going well. That is turning. That is the moment the story begins to favor you. Discipline in hard moments does not mean you never feel weakness. It means weakness does not get the final vote. You can allow exhaustion to speak, but not to decide. You can admit you are disappointed, but not let disappointment dictate your actions. There is a powerful phrase you must learn to carry inside you. I act from decision, not from condition. Decision is made in calm, in clarity, when you are face to face with your highest ideals. Condition is whatever wind is blowing at you right now. If you let condition overrule decision every time it is inconvenient, you are a servant, not a master. The man who becomes great is not the one who never feels the pull to quit. It is the one who has trained himself to keep moving while that pull shouts in his ear. This training is not abstract. It is practical and daily. Choose one area of your life where you have been habitually weak under pressure. Perhaps you abandon your work at the first frustration. Perhaps you lose your temper when things do not go your way. Perhaps you numb yourself with idle distractions whenever you feel overwhelmed. Do not try to fix everything at once. Choose one battlefield. Then, for a set period, decide that in that area you will regard hard moments as sacred tests. When the pressure rises, instead of collapsing, you say inwardly, "This is the page where my story beck." Ohm's different. This is where the old pattern ends. Then do the opposite of what your weakness suggests. If it says, "Leave the work, stay and complete one meaningful step." If it says, "Shout, breathe, and answer calmly." If it says, "Escape, stay present." Each time you do this, you carve a new line in your character. At first, these victories will be small, almost invisible to others. To you, they must be monumental. Celebrate them in your mind, not with arrogance, but with recognition. I have just proven that I can behave differently under fire. Do not dismiss these as trivial. A man is made or destroyed by how he behaves under fire. The more often you prove yourself in small flames, the more certain you can be that when a great furnace appears, you will not melt. You must also change the way you speak about hard times. Words are not harmless. When you constantly declare, "This is unbearable, this is too much, I cannot handle this," you are giving orders to your own nervous system. You are teaching it to shut down at a certain threshold. When you speak instead, "This is heavy, but I am heavier. This hurts, but I can carry hurt and still act," you send a different order. You widen your capacity. Your body responds to what your mind repeats. Hard moments are where your vocabulary matters. Learn to speak as a commander, not as a victim. Do not misunderstand. Discipline is not cruelty toward yourself. It is loyalty to your future self. In the hard moment, your present self wants relief. Yo, Her future self wants results. Discipline chooses in favor of the future. If you always comfort the present at the expense of the future, you will one day stand in that future and realize you have been betrayed. Betrayed by the very person who was supposed to protect you yourself. The man of discipline reverses this. He is willing to endure temporary discomfort to spare his future self from lifelong regret. When you find yourself at the edge of quitting, imagine that future self standing in front of you. Imagine his eyes, the weight of his disappointment. If you forsake this moment, then imagine his gratitude if you hold the line. Act for him. He is the one who will have to live with what you decide. You say you want a powerful story, a testimony of what you overcame. Understand what you are asking. You are asking for hard moments waiting somewhere ahead that will demand more of you than you currently own. You are asking to be stretched, opposed, delayed, misunderstood and tested. That is the raw material of every story worth telling. Do not ask for the glory without the grind, the admiration without the agony. Instead, ask for the strength to stay disciplined when the grind and agony arrive. Ask for a will that does not collapse when the audience disappears and you are left alone with your task. This is not drama. This is the daily life of all who rise. Hard moments are not a curse placed upon a few unlucky people. They are the training ground of every man who ever learned to carry weight without breaking. Somewhere in front of you, there is a situation that will feel like the limit of what you can handle. It might be a crushing workload, a painful loss, a severe disappointment, a long season of silence where no reward seems to meet your effort. In that hour, you will be tempted to say, "This is where my story ends." I tell you plainly, that is where your story is most alive. The page does not close there unless you close it. Your discipline at that point will either turn the crisis into a chapter of transformation or into a final scene of collapse. You are not powerless in that choice. You are preparing for it now. With every small hard moment, you either embrace or flee. From this day, choose a new understanding. Hard moments are not interruptions to your success. They are the paragraphs where success is tight. Your role is to keep your fingers on the keys when the room grows dark. You cannot wait until the hard moment arrives to decide what kind of man you will be. If you do, you will always be at the mercy of impulse. In the heat of pressure, your mind reaches not for lofty ideas, but for whatever habits are closest at hand. If your nearest habit is escape, you will escape. If your nearest habit is anger, you will explode. If your nearest habit is delay, you will postpone. Discipline in crisis is nothing more than the automatic expression of discipline built in calmer hours. So if you truly want to stand firm when life becomes heavy, you must buoy. LD your structure before the storm. The first pillar of that structure is a clear written standard for yourself. Most men move through life guided by vague wishes and fuzzy intentions. They say, "I should be more patient. I should be more committed. I should work harder." But they have never defined what those words mean in practice. Vague standards cannot hold you when fatigue hits. You must put your expectations into concrete form. Decide, for example, when I begin a task, I will finish the portion I planned for this day, whether I feel like it or not. Decide. When I am angry, I will not speak until I have taken 10 slow breaths. Decide when discouragement comes. I will not change my plan that day. I will review it only after I have rested. These may seem simple, but they are anchors. In hard moments, your mind will reach for them like a drowning man reaches for a rope. Do not merely think these standards, write them. Place them where your eyes must cross them daily. Each morning, read them aloud. Each evening, measure yourself honestly against them. When you hold to them in difficulty, mark that victory in your mind. When you fail, do not curse yourself. Study the failure. Ask, where was my structure weak? Did I forget the standard? Or did I remember it and choose against it? If you forgot, you must bring it closer to you, perhaps by repeating it more often, or tying it to some physical reminder. If you chose against it, you must confront the truth that in that moment you oved comfort more than you loved your own future. This is not pleasant to admit, but it is the kind of honesty that makes men strong. The second pillar is the discipline of order in small things. You may think your scattered desk, your untidy bed, your careless habits with simple duties are harmless. They are not. Every act of disorder whispers to your mind. Details do not matter. Promises do not matter. Structure is optional. When a severe test arrives, you demand that the same mind suddenly care deeply about details, promises, and structure. It will not. It has been trained in laxity. The man who shrugs at small disorder should not be surprised when his inner life falls apart under great pressure. Begin to treat the smallest commitment as practice for larger battles. If you say you will rise at a certain hour, rise at that hour, even when the warmth of the bed argues against it. If you say you will complete a minor task before resting, complete it even when no one will know the difference. If you place an object somewhere, put it back where it belongs, instead of telling yourself it does not matter. All of this seems trivial to the undisciplined mind. To the builder, it is training. Every time you follow through in a small matter, you're laying another stone in the wall that will keep you standing when great winds blow. You must also discipline the gates of your mind. Hard moments bring with them an invitation to think in ways that weaken you. You have likely noticed this. The instant you are under strain, thoughts appear uninvited. This always happens to me. I cannot handle this. What is the use of trying? If you have no practice in answering such thoughts, they swarm you and drive your actions. The disciplined man does not allow his mind to become a public square where any idea may enter and shout. He acts as a guard. When a thought arrives, he asks, does this make me stronger or weaker? Does this align with the man I have chosen to be? If it weakens him, he refuses to entertain it. He replaces it with a thought chosen, not given. This replacement must be planned in advance. Under pressure, you will not invent strong thoughts on the spot. You will fall back on whatever sentences you have practiced. Take the time in a calmer hour to choose statements that affirm your identity and your capacity. For example, I have endured difficulty before. I can endure this. This pain is not the end. It is a step. I do not need to feel brave to act with courage. Write your own lines that speak directly to your weaknesses. Repeat them daily. At first they may feel awkward, even untrue. That does not matter. You are not describing how you feel. You are instructing your mind how to behave. Over time, repetition will carve these lines into the pathways of your brain. Then, when the hard moment arrives, they will rise without effort, pushing aside the old cries of defeat. Another pillar of disciplined living in hard times is your relationship with rest. Any men swing between two extremes: indulgence and exhaustion. In indulgence, they give themselves too much leisure, then call it recovery when it is really escape. In exhaustion, they drive themselves relentlessly until their mind rebels and they collapse. Both patterns ruin discipline. The disciplined man respects his limits without worshipping his comfort. He understands that the body and mind need rest to perform well, but he refuses to confuse rest with idleness. He plans his rest as carefully as his work. He chooses forms of restoration that genuinely refill his strength. Sleep at proper hours, nourishing food, time in quiet, simple movement to loosen the tension in his muscles. Setting a fixed time to cease work each day can be a powerful discipline. During the day, you work with full focus, knowing that a period of rest is coming. In the evening, you rest without guilt, knowing you gave your best. Without this rhythm, hard moments are magnified. When your body is constantly tired from careless habits, every small difficulty feels like a mountain. You are not actually facing more hardship than others. You are simply facing it with less energy. Discipline in hard moments is made 100 times easier when you treat your body and mind as instruments to be cared for, not beasts to be whipped or idols to be pampered. Surroundings also matter. Discipline is contagious, and so is weakness. If you spend your time among men who flee responsibility, mock effort, and indulge wry feeling, you will find it nearly impossible to behave differently. Their behavior becomes the standard you measure yourself against, and soon you will congratulate yourself for being no worse than they are. That is a low bar. Seek out instead the company of those who take their commitment seriously. Listen to how they speak about difficulty. Observe how they carry themselves when things go wrong. Align yourself with those whose example lifts your own. If you cannot find such men close at hand, you can still surround yourself with strong minds by reading their words. The pages of a good book can become a counsel of discipline for you. When you saturate your thoughts with the stories, principles, and standards of those who have stood firm in their trials, your own trial becomes less confusing. You realize you are not alone in facing resistance. You are part of a long line of men who have felt what you feel and conquered it. That realization in itself is strengthening. It replaces the lie no one understands with the truth. Others have walked this path and left markers for me. You must also set rules for how you handle pressure in the presence of others. It is easy when you are under strain to allow your frustration to spill out on those around you. You raise your voice, sharpen your words, or sulk in silence, demanding that everyone feel what you feel. This might give you a momentary sense of release, but it weakens you. It teaches your mind that losing control outwardly is an unacceptable response to inattention. True discipline is not only doing your duty, it is carrying yourself in a way that does not add unnecessary suffering to your environment. Make it a standard for yourself. When I am in great discomfort, I will not use my pain as a license to wound others. Instead, if you must speak of your strain, do it with restraint and without accusation. Say, I am under pressure. I may need some time, rather than you are all making this worse. This is not about pretending you are fine when you are not. It is about refusing to let your internal storm become a storm in every room you enter. The more you practice this, the more you will respect yourself. You will know that you are not at the mercy of emotion. You can feel intensely and still choose your behavior. That knowledge is a deep foundation for confidence in the hardest hours. Another aspect of discipline in hard moments is the ability to break a large distress into smaller actionable parts. Many men are overwhelmed not by the actual task before them, but by the way they think about those tasks. They stare at all the problems at once like a man staring at an entire mountain, and then tell themselves, I cannot do this. No one can lift a mountain in a single motion. But anyone with strength and patience can move many stones. The disciplined mind asks, what is the next clear step? Not the next 100 steps, not the final outcome, just the next one. When you're under great strain, force yourself to identify and complete that next step. It might be making a difficult call, finishing a single page of work, putting your tools in order, or simply sitting quietly for a few minutes until you have calmed enough to think. Each time you choose and complete a small step in the middle of chaos, you weaken the hold of paralysis. You teach your mind that confusion is not a command to shut down. It is a signal to simplify. Over time, this habit turns you into a man who can function under heavy load while others freeze. Do not underestimate how valuable that is. The world is desperate for those who can act steadily when the air is thick with fear. You must also discipline your memory. The undisciplined man remembers his failures and forgets his victories. When a hard moment arrives, he calls to mind every time he fell, every humiliation, every disappointment. Naturally, he feels incapable. His own memory has become his enemy. The disciplined man does the opposite. He does not deny his failures. He has learned from them. But when he needs strength, he deliberately recalls the times he stood firm. He thinks of how he once finished a task while ill, forgave an insult he wanted to repay, remained steady in a storm he thought would break him. He says to himself, I have been faithful under pressure before. That man is still present in me. I will act from him now. Practice is not vanity, it is evidence. You are presenting to your own mind the proof that you are not as weak as your current feeling suggests. The more you practice this, the more your identity shifts. You cease to see yourself as a victim of hardship and begin to see yourself as a man who has traveled through hardship and is becoming more capable of bearing it. That shift in identity alters how you meet future trials. You face them not as an untested recruit, but as a growing veteran. Finally, understand that discipline in hard moments is not a state you suddenly arrive at. It is a character you are forever deepening. You will not wake one day and find that all pressure now feels easy. That day will never come. What will come if you continue is this. You will find yourself in situations that would have shattered you years ago. And you will notice that you are still standing, still thinking clearly, still choosing according to your standards. You will feel the strain, but you will not be broken by it. You will say to yourself, perhaps with quiet surprise, I am stronger than I was. That realization is not merely pleasant. It is a turning point. It confirms that your effort has not been wasted. It shows you that strength is not a mystery reserved for a fortunate few. It grows from the soil of ordinary days, where you chose discipline over ease when it counted most. And once you have seen that in yourself, you will never again fully believe the lie that you are helpless in the face of difficulty. You may stumble. Yes, you may feel despair pressing at your door. But somewhere beneath it all, you will know as a settled fact that you can act differently, because you have that knowledge is the bedrock on which every great success story is built. Not the absence of hardship, but the repeated decision in hardship to do what must be done. Once you begin to see that you are not as helpless as you once believed, you stand at a crossroads. You can treat this discovery as a pleasant surprise and continue living as before, or you can treat it as a summons. The knowledge that you can act differently in hard moments is not merely encouraging, it is a responsibility. You can no longer honestly say, this is just how I am. You have seen that who you are under pressure is a result of training, not fate. The question now becomes, how far are you willing to take this training? Will you settle for being slightly more disciplined than the men around you? Or will you become the kind of man whose discipline in hard moments forms a standard others measure themselves by? There is a vast difference between the man who uses discipline to survive and the man who uses it to shape destiny. The first employs discipline only enough to keep calamity away. He tightens his habits for a time when he is on the edge of losing everything, and once the danger passes, he relaxes back into comfort. His hard moments produce brief spurts of seriousness and long stretches of drift. The second understands discipline as a way of living. He does not wait for crisis to awaken his effort. He keeps his practices even when there is no visible threat, because he knows that crisis is always forming somewhere beyond the horizon. When it arrives, he does not need to become someone new in 3 days. He simply continues being who he has been for years. To become that second kind of man, you must weave discipline into every layer of your life, not in a harsh, joyless way, but in a deliberate and intelligent way. Begin with your purpose. Many men suffer in hard moments, not only because conditions are difficult, but because they have no clear answer to the question, why am I enduring this? Pain without purpose is torture. Pain for a purpose is tuition. If you've never sat with yourself and decided what you are ultimately building toward, every hardship will feel pointless. You will interpret each inconvenience as an insult, each delay as an injustice, each sacrifice as a theft. Sit down with paper and pen and ask yourself directly, what kind of man must I become before I leave this earth? What must my life stand for? What qualities must my name evoke when I am no longer present? Do not write down what you think would impress others. Write what stirs something deep inside you. Perhaps you know you must become a man whose word is unshakable. Perhaps you must become a man whose presence brings calm instead of confusion. A man whose work leaves order where there was chaos. A man whose family does not fear him but feels safe under his leadership. Whatever it is, define it. That picture is your North Star. Once that star is set in your sky, you can interpret your hard moments differently. When stress bears down on you, you will be tempted to ask, why is this happening? Replace that with, how does this moment allow me to practice being that man? If your purpose is to be unshakable in your integrity, then the moment you are offered an easy gain that requires a small lie is not an annoyance, it is training. If your purpose is to be calm under pressure, then the day everything goes wrong is not an attack. It is an opportunity to practice calmness in live conditions. If your purpose is to be a builder of others, then the season when those around you are fearful and lost is not a burden. It is an arena where you can exercise patience, guidance, and strength. Discipline in hard moments becomes bearable, even meaningful when you see each hardship as a piece of the man you are crafting. Without that vision, discipline feels like endless self-denial. With it, discipline becomes self-respect in action. Every time you act in alignment with your chosen purpose while under strain, you are saying to yourself, I will not betray the man I am becoming. That loyalty to your future self is the essence of greatness. You must also extend your discipline into how you manage your emotional reactions. Many men excuse their outburst by saying, I was under a lot of pressure. They treat anger, bitterness, and despair as unavoidable products of hardship. It is true that feelings rise with greater intensity when life presses on you. What is not true is that these feelings must be obeyed. The disciplined man does not deny what he feels, but he refuses to let feelings write his story. He may feel fury burning in his chest, but he decides whether that fury becomes a destructive rage or a focused determination. He may feel sadness heavy in his bones, but he decides whether that sadness drives him into isolation or into deeper compassion and reflection. Practice, when you are under strain, the habit of naming your emotion without surrendering to it. Say to yourself, I am angry. Instead of, they made me do this, say, I feel afraid, instead of, this is impossible. That small change of wording is powerful. It recognizes that the feeling is in you, but it is not all of you. From there you can ask, given that I feel this, what action is worthy of the man I have chosen to be? The more often you pause in this way, even for a few seconds, the more distance you create between impulse and action. That distance is where discipline lives. Be especially vigilant over self-pity. Hard moments whisper, no one has it as difficult as you. You have been treated unfairly. You are entitled to let go. If you feed that whisper, it will grow into a voice that drowns out every call to responsibility. Self-pity makes you blind to those who suffer more than you do. It makes you deaf to the opportunities still present in your situation. It turns you inward until your mind becomes a chamber echoing your cry. Evansis. There is no room for greatness in such a chamber. When self-pity begins, answer it with facts. Tell yourself, others have endured more and still acted with honor. I am not the only man under pressure. I am not singled out by fate. Then ask, what can I still do? Even in these conditions, there is always something. You may not be able to change the entire situation today, but you can choose how you show up within it. Complaining does not move even a single stone. Discipline moves one stone at a time. Bring discipline also into your speech about the future. In hard moments, men are tempted to prophesy doom over their own lives. They say, nothing will change. I will always be stuck here. This failure will follow me forever. These statements are not observations, they are declarations. When you speak them repeatedly, you begin to behave as if they are true, and your behavior collaborates with your fear to produce the future you dreaded. This is a cruel use of your own mouth against your own destiny. Decide that when you speak of the future, You will not lie to yourself with false optimism, but you also will not lie with hopelessness. Say instead, if I remain as I am and do not learn, this hardship will repeat. If I use this moment to change, I can break this pattern. Say, the future will reflect what I'm building now. These sentences are sober and honest. They put the responsibility back where it belongs, on the discipline of your daily choices. You must be equal. Why? Disciplined in your attitude toward comfort. Comfort is not evil. It is necessary in its place. But uncontrolled comfort is perhaps the most dangerous enemy of discipline. Hard moments reveal your strength. Comfortable moments reveal your direction. When life becomes easier, when the workload lessens, when money is more plentiful, when praise is more common, that is when many men quietly abandon the disciplines that built their success. They sleep longer, lower their standards, waste their hours on trivialities. Then, when the next hard season comes, as seasons always do, they discover they are softer than before. You must learn to handle comfort with the same seriousness with which you handle hardship in seasons of ease. Ask yourself, how can I use this surplus of time and energy to prepare for the next demand? Maybe you deepen your study. Maybe you improve your health. Maybe you strengthen your relationship so that when storms come, you are not standing alone. Comfort should be a workshop, not a couch. Use it to preload the strength you will draw on when life tightens again. Be disciplined too in how you receive success. Hard moments are not only defined by pain and struggle. Sometimes the hardest test is sudden progress. Everything begins to work. Doors that were closed start opening. People praise you. Money increases. It is easy to think, now I can relax. I have proven myself. That thought has ruined more stories than failure. Success writes its own temptation to belie. That the laws no longer apply to you, that you can now neglect the habits that built you and somehow keep the rewards they brought. In such a moment, remember that your success story is not finished until your life is over. You are not writing a short scene of triumph. You are writing a long, consistent narrative. Ask yourself, what would it take not only to reach this height, but to sustain it and grow beyond it? The answer will always be the same. Continued discipline, especially when you have every excuse to let it soften. Refuse to let praise become a lullaby that puts your will to sleep. Let it instead remind you that your hard moments have produced something real, and that the only way to honor that is to keep working. You must extend discipline into your dealings with others. Hard moments reveal not only who you are with yourself, but who you are with those who depend on you. When you are under pressure, it is tempting to become harsh, impatient, or absent. You tell yourself, I have too much on my mind to listen, to encourage, to be kind. But understand this, the mark of a truly disciplined man is that those closest to him do not live in fear of his stress. They may see that he is burdened. They may feel the weight he carries, but they are not crushed beneath it. Set a standard for yourself. My hard moments will never justify cruelty. You may need to say less, to take time alone, to ask for quiet. These are reasonable measures, but you do not get to use your difficult LTs as a whip. Every time you restrain a sharp word, every time you choose to explain instead of explode, every time you take ownership instead of blame, you are proving that your discipline is not a performance for the outside world. It is who you are. Proof will be remembered long after the specific hardship has passed. Finally, understand that the story your discipline is writing is not only for you. You think now of your own future, your own peace, your own success, but there are eyes watching you, perhaps younger eyes, or the eyes of those who love you, or the eyes of those who work beside you. They are learning from the way you handle hard moments. You may never become famous, but in the circle where your life is visible, Your reactions under pressure are teaching a lesson every day. When you break down, complain bitterly, or abandon your duties, you are not only weakening yourself, you are telling those eyes, this is how a man behaves when life presses him. When you stand even shaking, when you admit your pain, but keep your word, when you show that difficulty can be met with dignity and persistence, you are writing a different lesson. This is how a man can choose to be. One day those who watched you will face their own furnace, and your example will either strengthen or betray them. Let that weight sober you, not crush you. You are not required to be perfect. You will fail. You will lose battles. But if you commit again and again to bringing discipline into your hardest moments, you will over time create a pattern that others can trust. They will not remember every fall. They will remember that you kept rising. They will say, perhaps quietly, he was not easily broken. That sentence, earned through discipline, is worth more than any shallow praise. It means your success story was not a tale of easy gains, but of tested character. And this, in the end, is what matters most. Money will change hands. Possessions will pass on. Possessions will wear out and be forgotten. But man you become through the discipline you practice in your hardest hours. That man does not fade. He is the one who lives your story from beginning to end. He is the one who must sit with your memories when all else is quiet. Make him strong. Make him honest. Make him worthy of respect. Do it by choosing again and again, when the road is steep and the night is long, to act according to decision, not according to condition. Each of those choices is a sentence. Together they form the only success story that truly belongs to you. There comes a point in every serious life where the question changes. In the beginning you ask, will I succeed? It is a fearful question full of doubt and speculation. As your discipline is tested and proven through hard moments, that question becomes smaller. You begin instead to ask, what kind of man will I be while I am living? That is a higher question, and only discipline can answer it. Success in the outer sense may arrive sooner or later in larger or smaller measures, but the quality of the man carrying it that is within your command. Your discipline in the hardest hours is the chisel shaping that quality. You must stop imagining discipline as a chain and start seeing it as a key. Weak men call discipline restriction because they only notice what it forbids them. Laziness, excess, surrender. Strong men call discipline freedom because they see what it grants them. Mastery over moods, reliability in crisis, a will that does not fracture in the face of resistance. The undisciplined are prisoners of their feelings. The disciplined can feel fully and still choose wisely. Hard moments are the proof of this difference. When storms come, prisoners obey their panic. Free men obey their principles. As you continue to meet difficulty with steadiness, you will notice something subtle. Your relationship with fear changes. Fear used to arrive as a master. It spoke and you hurried to obey. Now it arrives as a messenger. It still speaks loudly, but you listen differently. You ask, what exactly am I afraid of here? Pain, embarrassment, loss, or is it simply the effort required? When you name your fear, you reduce its size. Often you will find that what you dread is not deadly. It is uncomfortable. And you have learned by practice that you can endure discomfort without losing yourself. Knowledge does not erase fear, but it keeps fear from erasing you. You will also begin to see that your hardest moments are not random. They gather around your weakest points, the areas where your character is still thin. A man who loves praise will find himself facing situations where he is ignored or criticized. A man who clings to control will find himself in conditions he cannot fully command. A man who hates delay will meet long seasons of waiting. At first, this feels like cruelty. In truth, it is precision. Life is not blindly beating you. It is pressing exactly where you are, soft to invite you to become solid. If you respond with discipline instead of self-pity, those very pressures will forge in you the strength you once lacked. There is a law at work. What you refuse to face will rule you, and what you face with discipline will serve you. If you always avoid difficult conversations, they become monsters in your mind, and every small conflict fills you with dread. But if you begin, even trembling, to have those conversations with honesty and calm, they gradually shrink into ordinary duties. You master them. The same is true of heavy workloads, painful goodbyes, bold decisions. Your first attempts may be clumsy. You may feel your heart racing and your thoughts scrambling. No matter. The important fact is that you did not run. Time you stay, act, and endure, your nervous system learns a new message. We can handle this. That message will be invaluable in future storms. As this process continues, your inner voice changes. The old voice of weakness, quick to excuse and eager to retreat, grows quieter. In its place, another voice grows strong, one that speaks with the authority of proven effort. It says, "You have done hard things before. You got up when it would have been easy to stay down. You held your tongue when it burned to speak. You finished work when your body begged to stop. You are not the same man you once were." This voice is not flattery. It is a statement of fact. Discipline has given you evidence, and evidence has given you a new way to think about yourself. From this new identity flows a different kind of peace. You no longer need to pretend that life will spare you from difficulty. You know it will not. But you also know that when difficulty arrives, you are not empty-handed. You carry habits woven into your days, standards fixed in your mind, and memories of past endurance. You may still feel the first thing of panic or grief, but beneath it runs a steady current. I can meet this moment with honor. That quiet confidence is worth more than any comfort you once purchased with avoidance. It is the feeling of being at home within your own skin. Your discipline in hard moments also simplifies your life. Weakness multiplies complications. Every time you lie to avoid responsibility, you create a tangle of untruths to maintain. Every time you break a commitment, you create mistrust that must later be repaired. Every time you abandon a task halfway, you leave behind clutter, unfinished duties that haunt your mind. Discipline cuts through this. When you tell the T, Ruth, even under pressure, you do not have to remember which version you told. When you keep your word even when it hurts, people learn they can rely on you instead of demanding endless explanations. When you finish what you begin, your path behind you is clean. Hard moments still come, but they are not compounded by the mess of your own making. You will notice too that discipline changes who is able to walk alongside you. In your earlier years, you may have found companionship easily among those who treated life as a game. You laughed at effort, mocked seriousness, and took pride in getting away with the least you could. As your discipline grows, such company begins to feel empty. Their jokes ring hollow when you know the cost of such living. You will either lower your standards again to keep their approval, or you will quietly drift away and seek the presence of those who understand the weight you choose to carry. When you find such men and women, those who do their duty without parade, who control themselves under fire, who build steadily without constant applause, value them, learn from them, let them correct you. Their example will strengthen your own resolve. In time, others will seek you for the same reason. They will sense that you do not break easily, that you can be trusted in storms. You may be tempted to think, all of this sounds noble, but what if I never receive the success I dream of? What if I endure and the outward rewards never match my inner ought? That is a fair question, and you must face it honestly. Discipline is not a bargain you make with fate, demanding that fate pay you in riches or renown. Discipline is the price of becoming the kind of man whose life has weight, regardless of the exact shape his circumstances take. There is no guarantee that you will become wealthy or famous or widely celebrated. There is a guarantee that if you abandon discipline whenever it is painful, you will become small, bitter, and unreliable. Between those two, the choice is still simple. Understand this clearly. The greatest reward for your discipline in hard moments is not what you get. It is who you become. Fortune can be squandered. A reputation can be stained by a single act of cowardice, but a will that has been strengthened through 1,000 private victories. A conscience that has learned to prefer the long-term good over the short-term relief. A character that does not collapse under accusation or misfortune. These are not easily taken from you. They are your true inheritance. They follow you into every room and every season of your life. And though you must not use this as your main motive, it is still true that the outer world responds to such a man. Employers want him. Partners rely on him. Friends confide in him. Young eyes imitate him. Even opponents, if they are honest, respect him. They may not like that he cannot be manipulated by flattery or threats, but they will recognize the strength of a man who is the say, me in sunshine and in storm. Over years, this quiet recognition often turns into very real opportunity. While others rise and fall with every turn of fortune, the disciplined man becomes a fixed point, and life which despises instability entrusts him with more. As you grow older, you will look back on the hardest chapters of your story with different eyes. The nights you once cursed, the seasons you once despaired of will shine as turning points. Not because they were pleasant, they were not, but because of what you did in them. You will remember the time you chose to remain faithful when betrayal would have been easier. The time you held to honesty when a lie would have opened a door. The time you continued doing excellent work when no one seemed to notice. You will see that those decisions made in fatigue and loneliness shaped the man staring back at you in the mirror. You will also see, if you were honest, the times you failed. You will remember the moment you walked away from a calling because it frightened you. The day you hurt someone with words you could have withheld. The years you wasted indulging weakness instead of confronting it. Do not imagine you will ever forget those. They will remain. But they need not torture you. If after those failures you returned to discipline, owned your wrongs, and used the pain as fuel to change, those dark pages become part of your strength. They keep you humble. They remind you what you are capable of if you sleep on your standards. You make you patient with the struggles of others. In the final measure, your success story will not be written by smooth years in which everything went according to plan. It will be written by scattered days in which nothing went according to plan and you did not run. It will be composed of the mornings you rose when you wanted to hide, the conversations you had when you wanted to stay silent, the work you finished when you wanted to abandon it half done. This is not dramatic or glamorous. It is ordinary heroism, and it is the only kind that counts. So when the next hard moment comes, as it surely will, do not waste it. Do not throw it away in complaint, panic, or surrender. See it for what it is, a blank line in your story waiting to be filled. In that instant, no one else can write it for you. Not your past, not your excuses, not your fears. Only your discipline can move the pen. Ask yourself, when I look back on this day, what would I be proud to have done? Then do that thing. Even if your knees shake while you do it, you may think such a choice will matter little in the grand sweep of your life. You are wrong. No single stroke finishes a drawing, but without each stroke, the image would never appear. Your disciplined actions in hard moments are those strokes. Little by little, they reveal the outline of a man who did not allow pain to dictate his principles, who did not allow fear to command his future. That is a man whose story is worth reading, worth remembering, and most of all, worth living. Your discipline in hard moments, write your success story. Continue to write it with courage. Continue to write it with clarity. Continue to write it when your hands are steady and when they tremble. And when the book is finally closed on your days, let it be said, not that life was easy for you, nor that you were spared the fire, but that whenever the fire came, you chose to stand inside it and become something stronger.